Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Farooq Ahmed. Roll number is BBHM 15069 and today my topic is BRM Business Research Methods.
Introduction to Qualitative Research. Introduction. Scientists more comfortable with quantitative research. Quantitative methods deal with collection and processing numerical data. Answer questions: how often, to what extent, how much, how many, but can't answer questions on why, how, in what way. Types of qualitative research: basic, interpretive qualitative study, phenomenological study, grounded theory study, ethnographic study, narrative analysis, critical qualitative research, postmodern research. Basic, interpretive qualitative study can be used when an instructor is interested in how students make meaning of a situation or phenomenon. It uses an inductive strategy, collecting data from interviews, observations, or document analysis, etc. Example: an interview of 45 women from varying backgrounds and a comparison of the developmental patterns discerned with earlier finding on male development. They found women's live evolved through period of tumultuous structure building phases that alternated with stable periods. Phenomenological study aims to find the essence of structure of an experience by explaining how complex meaning are built out of simple unit of inner experience. For example, the essence of being a participant in a particular program or the essence of understanding a subject. The method of involves temporarily putting aside the bracketing personal, heightening consciousness, and allowing the researcher to unit or the see phenomenon for the perspective of those who have the experienced it. Example: eight clinical, psychological practicum level trainees were interviewed to obtain experience to good supervision. Meaning unit were identified from these and meaning structure was identified and refined into essence or essential element of good supervisionally experience shared by a majority in this content. Grounded theory study derives from collected data, a theory that is grounded in the data but therefore localized, dealing with a specific situation like how students handle multiple responsibilities or what constitutes an effective lesson plan. The method involves comparing collected units of data against one another unit categories, properties, and hypotheses that the state relationship between these categories and properties emerge. Example: 10 school counselors were giving structured interview to help determine how their professional identify is formed. This data was coded first the form concept and then to form conception between concepts. Ethnographic study, traditional in anthropology, for studying human society and culture. It is less a method of data collection and more the use of social cultures less through which the data are interpreted. Extensive fieldwork is usually required in order to give cultural interpretation. Example: Native American students training to be teachers were followed through interview over a few 5-year period to chart the progress towards a goal of facilitating and development of Native American teachers to be better understand and address their unique problems. Their beliefs, view about self and concerns were presented. Narrative analysis. This involves the use of stories of life narratives, first person account of experience. These stories are used as data taking the perspective of storyteller as opposed to larger society with the goal of extracting meaning from the text. The most common type of narrative analysis are psychological, biographical, and discourse analysis. The former involves analyzing the story in terms of internal thoughts and motivations, and latter analysis are the written text or spoken words for its component part of patent. Example: oral narrative were collected from theory, social studies, teachers, lectures, conversations with students, and student interactions over a 14-month period. These narratives were coded and analyzed and used to urge that storytelling or the use of oral history was well received by students and provided richer data than more traditional teaching method. Critical qualitative research. This writing aims to reveal and critique the social, cultural, and psychological assumptions regarding present-day contexts with the goal of empowering individuals and enabling change. It challenges current power distribution and the status quo as opposed to merely revealing meaning. Research questions may address race, gender, and class influence, how current power structures may serve some groups, interest and oppress other, how trust the knowledge of constructed. Example: critical examination of the consumer education text used in adult literacy programs revealed content that was disrespectful of adult learners and their previous experience as consumers, promoted certain ideologies regarding consumers, and definited the status quo by placing blame of economics troubles on individual, ignoring society inequalities. Postmodern research. This is research that challenges the form and categories of traditional qualitative analysis. The postmodern perspective involves questioning certaining, and assumptions in the world, including the nature of truth, the ability of researcher and science to discover his truth, and all generalization and typologies. Three crises have resulted from these questions. Whatever the experience of another can be captured, or whether it is created by the researcher flawed. Example, the, the paper quite use self-reflection by higher education teacher as a student-centered method of communication personal development. The author urged that widespread and unquestioned use of reflective self-assessment assume that the self has a transparent nature and can be adequately examined by introspection, and ignores the many postmodern and post-structuralist challenges of this view. Introduction to qualitative research. Asking good qualitative research questions. How to write a good qualitative purpose statement. A statement that provides the major objective or intent or roadmap to the study. Fulfill the following criteria. Single sentence. Include the purpose of the study. Include the central phenomenon. Use qualitative words, etc. Explore, understand, discover. Note the participant, if any. State the research site. Basic types of questions. Casual question. Designating one or more factors that are causing a problem. Example, will the sale of product X increase if we increase the advertising budget? Basic type of questions: exploratory, descriptive, and casuals. Exploratory research is defined as a researcher used to investigate a problem which is not clearly defined. Such a research is usually carried out when the problem is at a preliminary stage. Descriptive research is a quantitative research method that attempts to collect quantifiable information. For statistical analysis of the population sample, it is a popular market research tool that allows us to collect and describe the demographic segment nature. Casual research, also called explanatory research, is the investigation of research into cause and effect relationship. Qualitative and quantitative research design. Quantitative research design is aimed to discovering how many people think, act, or feel in a specific way. Quantitative project involves large sample sizes, focused or emotional insight that the aim of qualitative research. A qualitative research design is concerned with established answers to the ways and hows of the phenomenon in question, unlike quantitative. Due to this, qualitative research is often defined as being subjective, not objective, and findings are gathered in a written format as opposed to a numeric. but numerical. The theoretical model, independent variable. An independent variable is exactly what it sounds like. It is a variable that stands alone and isn't changed by the other variable you are trying to measure. For example, someone's age might be an independent variable. Dependent variables mean responding variable. Just like an independent variable, a dependent variable is exactly what it sounds like. It is something that depends on other factors. For example, a test score could be a dependent variable because it could change depending on several factors such as how much you studied. Mediating variable. A mediator variable may be something as simple as psychological response to given event. For example, suppose buying pizza for a work party lead to positive moral and to the work being done in half the time. Moderating variables. A moderating variables, also called a moderator variable, or simply may change the strength or direction of an effect between two variables x and y. Marketing research. Market research allows a company to discover the target market and get opinion and other feedback from consumers about their interest in the product or service. Marketing research involves collecting organization, analyzing and communication information that can be used in order to make an informed marketing decision. Benefits of market research. It helps business strengthen their position. It minimizes any investment risk. It identifies potential threats and opportunities. It helps to discover yours and your competitors' strengths and weaknesses. If it facilitated strategic planning, it helps in spotting emerging trends. Design thinking. Design thinking is an iterative process in which we seek to understand the user, challenge assumptions, redefine problems in an attempt to identify alternative strategies and solutions that might not be instantly apparent with our initial level of understanding. At the same time, design thinking provides a solution-based approach to solving problems. It is a way of thinking and working as well as a collection of hands-on methods. Divergent thinking allows us to expand our view of the world to generate as many ideas as possible without being trapped by ideational problem solving methods or predetermined constraints. Convergent thinking allows us to narrow down the number of ideas generated through divergent thinking in an effort to identify which ones have the most potential. Brainstorming. Following foreground's rule for brainstorming as pivotal to divergent thinking. Suspending all judgment being open the weird suggestion, generating as many ideas as possible, putting ideas together and improving on them. One way to start brainstorming is to use how may we question. How might we question? Here are some examples. How might we enhance the research-based education experience of students? How might we improve how the elderly live independently? How might we redesign how adults learn in virtual worlds? How might we remain how people get around in a town without cars?